Holy moly. Now, I have seen some vicious debate takedowns, and then there's this. I have seen some quick off-the-top witty thinking, witty comebacks and remarks, and then there is this. This guy's career is over. How do you come back from this level of embarrassment? Now, obviously, there's no context to that statement, but I just wanted to say it before I play the clip, because I'm pretty sure you guys are going to feel the exact same way. Boy, do I have an interaction to show you guys today. Wait till you guys see this. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, context here not needed. Just look at this.
But I hear you on that.
Yep. Quick thought for you. We're living in an attention economy. Eyeballs are everything these days. And kudos to you because you're a brilliant talker. You know what you're saying. You're a shock jock, like you're a Howard Stern-esque type person. And some of the things you say are hyperbolic. Some of the things you say are true. Not everything is everything for you. I'm wondering for you, what percentage are you saying just to, as a comedian, to be hyperbolic and just to kind of throw stuff out there, and what stuff is actually factual and true? So, for instance, I have a phone in my hand. This is a phone. And you can Google things with a phone. So, Volodymyr Zelensky, a couple quick points. He's the same height as your boy Putin. They're both 5'7". He's not 5'4". Putin isn't exactly a giant, okay? That's one. Number two, I don't give two shits about the Muslims in the UK. But a quick Google search will show you that Muslims' population will double by 2030, apparently, and go from 6.3% to 17% by 2050. This is Google, Katie. I don't care. Thirdly, I just Googled pictures of UK police officers with guns. Apparently, they got a lot of fucking guns. So my question to you is, what percentage of what you're saying is hyperbolic, getting eyeballs, respect, we live in that kind of world now, versus actually factual and true?
Okay. Let's go from the start there. You showing me what a phone is and saying this is a phone, that isn't really the way to start an argument, because that's to assert that I'm stupid and don't know what a phone is.
Well, you're assuming we're stupid because we can't Google things that you say as a fact checker.
Would you like me to answer what you just said?
Sure, go ahead.
You're going to talk over me.
We could do either one. I could go either way. So, but go ahead. This is all you.
Is it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So starting off on that kind of tone, I don't think is necessary. You then go to your phone and say, I can Google this, like you've got the biggest penis on the planet. Whereas
you might have the biggest penis on the planet, Katie. I don't know.
Darling, I've got bigger balls than Caitlyn Jenner.
I actually believe you, Katie. I actually believe you. But go ahead.
You're so bad at listening. And then when you stop talking, you say, go ahead for just a moment in time. You can Google anything. Why don't you Google my name and see what it says on Wikipedia? Because you'll find out that I'm both a monster, that I'm bankrupted, that I have no background or backbone. You'll find out that I've bedded everybody in the UK. Many of those things won't actually be true. So just because you Googled something, that doesn't really make you Elon Musk, darling, does it? It just means maybe you can use one or two of your hands, probably at one side of your hand more than the other. It's had more practice. You then talk about Zelensky's height as if that's a fact because you read it. And that's a misinterpretation of itself, isn't it? Because just because you read it on Google doesn't make it true, my flower pot, does it? And then you also talk about the fact this old statistic, Muslims 6%. Walk with me, my flower. Walk with me through London, through Leicester, through Birmingham, through Bradford, and walk with me through Minneapolis, because you can call it 6% if you make that disparate in a population. But in the cities where they cluster together, you will find they have the majority. It's why they have the power. It's why we have a Muslim mayor. It's why we have a Muslim housing association. It's why we have a Muslim police association. And it's why we have Sharia law in most of our cities. And finally, you managed to find a picture of a police officer with a weapon. Well done, darling. Have a gold star and do some more Googling. Maybe you could watch some Cartoon Network while we adults talk. Of course, there are armed response officers. I said that as part of my answer. But most police officers on the streets of the UK are not armed. Is that okay for you?
Yes, my little flower pot. So here's the deal.
Hold on. You've managed... Wait, this is totally breaking. Wait, you need to stop the business, stop valuetainment, because seriously, what he's done, he's Googled police officers and they're holding weapons, which must make him right and me wrong. I literally came here to talk out my arse, but look what he's done, everybody. I think that deserves... Come on, join him.
Number one.
You know, the first thing that comes to mind is that old saying that the truth hurts. I've been following Katie Hopkins for, boy, it's been like almost 10 years at this point, I'd say. And I just don't get what all the outrage is about. People call her controversial, a shock jock, whatever it is. But for the most part, it seems to me as though Katie Hopkins is guilty of one thing and one alone, and that's pointing out uncomfortable truths. You know, it's kind of like the Donald Trump thing. It's a very similar situation. People who are willing to, I guess you could say, tell it like it is, they're willing to go there. They're willing to say things that make people uncomfortable. It causes these sort of reactions where people attempt to discredit her. They want to knock her down a peg, or they can't associate themselves with her because the media said, oh, she's so scary, controversial, far right, yada yada, you know, all the buzzwords, all the isms, all the this, that, and the other. But in general, I mean, for the most part, she's right. The point that she made about Sharia law, that's a real thing, and honestly, that should be a real concern for anybody who cares about Western standards relating to equality of the sexes, individual rights, and the rule of law. But no, everyone falls for the gaslighting campaign, everyone falls for the slander. Oh, we shouldn't be going there, we shouldn't be saying this. Why not? It's a serious concern, and she's right. You know, at one point he said that Katie Hobbs peddles in hyperbolic statements. But in some cases, you know, the truth sounds hyperbolic because, well, we live in a little bit of a messy world. You know, we live in a dangerous world. Sometimes the truth sounds outrageous. Sometimes tackling serious issues is going to ruffle some feathers. Telling the truth is going to rile up some emotions and cause controversy. You should never lead with emotion, and you should never formulate your opinion on anyone or what anybody's saying based on what Wikipedia is telling you or whatever narrative the mainstream media headlines are trying to peddle. You know what it really comes down to, for me personally, is respect. This man from Patrick Bet-David's Valuetainment podcast clearly was unwilling to show any respect to Katie Hopkins, and that's always a mistake. You should always respect the individual that you are having a discussion with. You should always respect that they are coming from a point of honesty and that they actually believe what they believe and that maybe there's some merit to their arguments. Otherwise, you end up looking like this guy, like a complete fool, because he bought directly into the mainstream leftist narrative about Katie Hopkins, and he treated her as such. You know, it's kind of like the whole Jordan Peterson thing, you know? He shows up to do these interviews or these discussions with people, and it seems like they have certain preconceived notions, certain thoughts about him before even meeting him, and it leads to a kind of hostile interaction where nothing really positive comes out of it. Just a weird, hostile, antagonistic kind of interaction that makes one party look dumb and uninformed. And boy, was this guy uninformed. A quick Google search, I mean, it's the freaking Jenk strategy. Just Google it, bro.
Once again, it's this wonderful capitalist invention called Google. Google it.
I Googled it. And UK police officers, man, they are strapped big time. Really? I mean, I feel like this is common knowledge that British police officers outside of armed response teams don't carry firearms. This guy's so confident in his ability to do research. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe search the policy, search actual statistics. The guy freaking went to Google Images and searched UK police with a gun. Oh, debunked. How absolutely idiotic. Almost as dumb as going to freaking Midjourney and generating an AI photo of a UK police officer with a freaking bazooka and then going, see? UK police officers are in fact armed. I mean, literally every single fact check from this guy ended up being severely wrong, totally misinformed. Even the issue of Volodymyr Zelensky's height. You Google the leader of Ukraine's height and it tells you 1.7 meters. Oh, fact check false. Yeah, except that's not the way it works. You know, Google isn't an all-knowing, godlike entity. Here's a way that we can use a Google search, as well as, I don't know, basic critical thought and analysis, to find out that it seems like, once again, Katie Hopkins was right. Here's a photo of Volodymyr Zelensky with Tom Cruise. Volodymyr Zelensky is shorter than Tom Cruise, quite considerably. Actually, in every photo of the two together, Tom Cruise's height is listed at 1.7 meters, and even that height might be embellished considering he's an actor. So chances are, if Tom Cruise is 5'7", and likely 5'6", maybe 5'7" in shoes, and Volodymyr Zelensky happens to be a couple inches shorter, then it lands him around 5'4", or 5'5", right? Oh, but I Googled it and fact check wrong. Yeah, that's not the way it works. It's almost as if people are realizing that not everything is as it seems. Not every headline the media promotes is unquestionable fact. Not everything on Wikipedia is gospel handed down from a higher power. Maybe we should be questioning narratives that are being set, information that is being promoted, and maybe, just maybe, we should offer a little bit of respect to our guests and people that we engage in debate and discussion with, rather than whatever was on display in this interaction, the condescension, the sort of labeling and assumptions. He essentially asked her if she was a comedian, and if she's putting on an act to be a media figure. And honestly, what an idiotic concept, considering Katie Hopkins is pretty much one of the most canceled persons on the planet. Yeah, not exactly a great career move to generate social clout and career opportunity. Anyways, that's pretty much the video. I'm sure you got a kick out of that one. That interaction, those responses were fantastic. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.